Off to Vegas, baby.
Yeah, we don't care about ABS, traction control. You know, the only ABS and traction control I've got is that safety harness that keeps me in if I start rolling it down the highway.
Ooh, baby, on the track, I'm going vroom, vroom. Try to catch me when I pull up in this. I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes. Look at the beautiful stars, I wanna drive a faster
car. This episode of Make or Break, we go back to October 2019, pre-COVID times. This episode is part of a series I'm doing looking back at when I entered my NASCharger into the Radical Rod build-off drive-off. In the previous episode, we'd reached Santa Rosa in New Mexico after traveling over 700 miles from Lincoln, Nebraska over 2 days. Santa Rosa is on the historic Route 66 and would be running roughly parallel to that wonderful highway throughout the day as we headed west towards Albuquerque and then eventually reach our destination 442 miles away, Flagstaff, Arizona.
You guys know what to do. It's pretty much the same thing, but we're running all interstate today. Try not to get too spread out. The interstate, it's easy to do that. When we get through Albuquerque, pull the group together, because after Albuquerque, we're going to be pulling off at a Love's truck stop. We'll exit to the right, go over the interstate to the left, and we'll be there. Look at your itinerary. It's either half hour or 45 minutes. Otherwise, just be safe out. Let's roll.
Day number 3, we're leaving Santa Rosa, Route 66 Auto Museum. It's a 442-mile push, all uphill to Flagstaff. Today, the boys are going to have to perform uphill. Is going to make these guys push the car hard.
Hopefully you've seen some of the NASCharger build series. So you'll know that my car for this amazing journey to SEMA was my NASCharger. It had the body of a 1970 Dodge Charger, but this was a Frankenstein's monster type of vehicle because that Charger body was now resting on a Karl Edwards NASCAR from 2012.
I was overly impressed with that vehicle. Again, the amount of work that they put into it and stretching it, using that Dodge Charger body on top of it. I'm a race car oriented person, so that hits home with me. And to see Charger body going over top of a NASCAR like that just really hits home.
It's quite the deal, the way they had to stretch the frame out from a NASCAR to fit onto that Charger body.
My overall take on the NASCharger, Sam hit it out of the park. Radical build for sure.
This third day of the drive was October the 31st, Halloween, so it felt quite fitting to be hitting the open road in this car. Of course, when you make a rat rod out of an old hearse, that really takes the biscuit on Halloween. So on this day there was nothing more apt than Team Australia. Darren Sheldrick of Double Jacked Garage from Queensland had turned a 1939 Dodge Hearse into a very scary monster.
Everything okay?
Yeah, just top up the oil.
Yeah.
Scary and yet so cool at the same time. I just love how sinister it looks. I wonder if the skull has a name. And check out the kissing skeletons on the radiator housing. How awesome is that? And this picture shows the incredibly high level of design and manufacture. I love the way the skeleton arms cradle the engine. Spooky! After the ice and snow of the first and the second day, it was really nice to see the sunshine. It still wasn't warm, but it was definitely warmer than before. We all continued west on Interstate 40. The surrounding landscape indicated we were now in an area used to being beaten by the sun. And take a look at this footage. We've sped it up so you don't get bored, but this shot gives you an idea of the length of our convoy of coolness. Must be over a mile with around 30 vehicles in all. Jeremy leading us in his Fox body Mustang. So day 3, we woke up to -5 Celsius, and -5 Celsius in England is beyond crazy. Like, you know, snow comes down in England, ice comes out, England shuts down, right? Here we just drive crazy cars across. We just don't care. We don't care about ABS, traction control. You know, the only ABS and traction control I've got is that safety harness that keeps me in if I start rolling it down the highway. We pull out, and for the first time we're starting to feel the sun coming through the window, and it's starting to warm up, and you know, the gravel turns to dirt, the dirt turns to desert. The car's pulling like an absolute animal. You know, where it's freezing cold, -13 degrees the other day, it's pulling like a train. And now it's getting up to like 20 Celsius, 15 Celsius, and it's still pulling. Like, the temperature does not phase it. If not, it just seems to be getting better and better every mile, you know. When my NASCharger turned up in Lincoln, Nebraska, I changed all the oils out to Motul oil. The differential, the transmission and the engine. Their excellent oil helped me keep my beast roaring down the road. I can't recommend them enough. When we got to Love's truck stop you heard Jeremy mention earlier, we picked up a rather famous escort. Tom Cotter, the barn find hunter, was really taken with this skipping school bus rat rod. If you've seen that video here on YouTube, and Cotter had every reason to be. It was quite a creation.
Ooh, baby, on the track, I'm going vroom, vroom. Try and catch me when I pull up in a zoom, zoom. Oh, no, please don't make that call. We don't want no cars, they ain't ready for the cause. Ooh, baby, on the track, I'm going vroom, vroom. Try to catch me when I pull up in a zoom, zoom. Ooh, boy, driving by the shore, looking for some more, and my Rari going raw.
My dad rode with me most of the second day, but it was really freezing, so on day 3 he joined my buddy Karl in the warm minivan with Troy, a previous entrant in the drive-off at the wheel. I started off with one of the guy's daughters riding shotgun, as you may have noticed from that clip of me leaving the Route 66 museum earlier. Then Micah Claycamp, the artist, joined me, and believe it or not, he was making art as we drove along Interstate 40 towards Arizona. It would have been really great to show you this, but as you can see, I didn't really set up my GoPro particularly well. Haha, apologies for that.
One of the things that I had worked out in this poster that you see behind me is I had the opportunity to draw everybody's car that was in the build, and which was fun. It was kind of like a trade-off. It gave me an opportunity to ride along with them in an exchange for getting their vehicle drawn, and it kind of allowed me to get to know them in a little deeper way. What their experience was, how they enjoyed it, some of the struggles, some of the things that they just really enjoyed. Plus, it gave me an opportunity as an artist to be able to get the experience of what that was like to actually be in a vehicle that I just drew. And so absolutely something priceless. One of my fun experiences I remember being with Sam in the NASCharger was riding along with him and heading through, I believe we were going through New Mexico, heading through there, and I remember just the fun conversations we had, talking and things like that, and then being able to, having make this car backfire and stuff like that. And so it's funny, I brought my tablet with me in the car, and I was actually doing sketches on my iPad Pro while I was driving.
As I mentioned in previous episodes, I love Micah's work. We've put links to his website and social media in the description under this video. Check him out when you can. Well worth it. You can send him a picture of your car and he can do one of his excellent caricatures for Christmas. Now there's a make or break hard up garage tip of the century. Fairly near the New Mexico-Arizona state line, we stopped at a picturesque rock escarpment for a short photo opportunity. Nice change of scenery from the previous days.
It's nice to be in the sunshine. Finally got through that snow and ice and crap. But now we're home sweet home. Off to Vegas, baby.
Great to see all the cars lined up. Lloyd Pearson got his rat rod out of its cage, so to speak. He hadn't been able to get his car satisfactory in time for the journey, so it had spent the entire trip up to this point in its covered trailer. Nice and warm, I can assure you, which was a nice addition to the lineup.
We stopped and took a photo opportunity along the side of the highway, interstate, in Concho, and just a wonderful place, a wonderful scenery with all these different colored rocks and sand.
Ooh, baby, on the track, I'm going vroom, vroom. Try and catch me when I pull up in that zoom, zoom. Oh no. Please don't make that call. Me don't want no car. Staying ready for the cause. Ooh, baby, on the track, I'm going vroom, vroom. Try to catch me when I pull up in the zoom, zoom. Ooh, driving by the shore, looking for some more. In my Rari going roar.
Day 3 wasn't over, but it was shaping up as another good section of a long 1,500-mile journey to SEMA. From the picturesque rocks, it was just another 2.5 hours west on Interstate 40 to our motel in Flagstaff. After 442 miles, everyone had avoided a nightmare on Halloween. We grabbed some dinner, talking about the leisurely final day of travelling ahead and how we wanted to have some fun on those salt flats just outside Las Vegas. There's plenty more action from the Ratical Rod drive off to SEMA, and then from SEMA itself, so keep a track on new releases. We're releasing at least one video a week on a Wednesday, but sometimes we'll be delivering extras on Sundays.
Look at beautiful stars. I wanna drive a faster car.
So guys, if you're not afraid of a little bit of work, you can get yourself a bit of a bargain. There are websites out there called Copart and synetiq. I'll put the link below for the spelling for that. synetiq and Copart are websites where companies take vehicles to sell. So if a vehicle's been in a light accident or a heavy accident, or if a main dealer is trying to disperse of his part exchanges, which, they might be a bit damaged, they've been a bit rough on the edges, they might need a bit of love. So what you want to do, guys, is go on these websites and search within a 30-mile radius of your postcode. When you're on there and you've done a little bit of a search within a 30-mile radius, you will find a lot of cars, hundreds if not thousands. You want to whittle that down to what you call a category N or a category X, and N is what you call non-structural. So non-structural means if the panel on the vehicle can be replaced, then that would be non-structural. It's not integral to the condition or the safety of the vehicle. If I key this door here, that would be non-structural. If I key the roof, that would be structural, which you don't want. So search for category N as in non-structural, or category X, which means it hasn't been damaged at all. Category X could just mean that someone has part exchanged it in and that dealer does not want to sell it from their site. What you want to do, guys, is then go onto a website called totalcarcheck.co.uk, put the registration number in and see if the vehicle has had an MOT.
If the vehicle's had an MOT, the description says it runs and drives, you've probably got quite a few good cars in your hand. Therefore, invest, but be careful. You want to look onto Auto Trader, find out what the going rate is, and you want to be pulling that down quite a few pegs. You want to be making sure that you are getting a bargain. Also, there's a little box in the corner that will tell you if the V5 document, the ownership document, is included in the sale. This will help you get that car on the road as soon as possible, as you will need to tax it. Hope that helps, and have another great evening. Thanks, guys.
Time for Make or Break to take a break. See you on Wednesday for regular episodes, but we might be releasing more snippets on other days in the near future, so follow us on social media for updates about that. We're on all major platforms. Goodbye for now.